Are we starting this? Hello! Welcome to Z Reviews. I'm your host, Zeos Pantera. Check out Inner Fetish, and thank you for being patrons and subscribes to our supporters. Eventually, you will have to pay for my medical expenses when I lose my fucking mind. So, this is the Topping A900. You recall on this channel a couple months back, I glazed, quite literally, the Topping D900, the matching DAC unit for this stack. And the DAC, the D900, was like $1,800, but it's like a 1-bit DAC, which means a lot. And it's actually permanently set up in my speaker listening DAC testing area because I've had guests over and I like to fucking blow their mind. And that's with a DAC. So an amp has got to be like, we'll get to it. So the amp, ironically, is cheaper always than the DAC when you're talking about topping. $1,200. Now, $1,200 seems like a lot for just an amp. Now, Valencia, obviously, collab, just an amp, just a power amp. It's like $2,000. Actually, it's on sale right now on Black Friday. That won't matter to you, which is $1,500. But in relation, if we're going to compare specs, this measly thing only has 17 watts per channel into 32 ohms. Where into 16 ohms, this has 22 watts per channel. And that's what everyone is focusing on. They're also focusing on the fact that the numbers read there. 0.00003% distortion, new record. It wrote new record. Now, I've had lots of amplifiers get on this channel and tell me why they're better than everyone else's amplifiers. And for a moment, I'm going to ignore sound quality, and we're going to look at features. No, I'm just kidding. That'll just take too fucking long. So sound-wise, it sounds fine. However, I would put DX9 non-discrete, because I don't have that one here yet. It's not on the table. I would have the non-discrete DX9 above this for just sound quality from like headphone in and out. But that is hard to judge because that's a DAC and an amp and a combo. I also just did the Topping DX5 Mark II, the little $300 motherfucker. $200? Cheap. And I love that thing. Like, I love it. Like, I plug in my digital source and it's, so creamy. So this comes out. It's their new flagship. Like, the stack is like $3,000 on APOS. And I love the DAC, but the DAC's not here. And in fact, I don't want the DAC here. Because one of the things this does is it has 3 full sets of XLR inputs. I would lift this up to show you like I normally do, but I'm afraid I would end the world. So we'll look at this we'll get to it. Put that back. I could describe the back for you with telepathy. Input 1, input 2, input 3, output for preamp out. And then you got some triggers over here, and there's a firmware updater, and then there's a power plug. The end. The back is just abreast with XLRs. And I've got 3 separate DACs going into this unit. And I think this is going to be the real reason you buy this. You got to think of it more of a matrix than as an amp. Because like the Valencia is 1 in, 1 out, push the button, you're done. You better hope you hit that button and you have everything else set before it. Whereas this has the full display. We're going to go through the menus. But not just it has 3 full XLR ins and 1 set of XLR outs. No RCAs, by the way. Fully balanced. They don't even believe in RCAs. But the outputs in the front are fucking stupid. We have a 4.4, a 4.4, a 4-pin, a 4-pin, and then the dual XLRs count as 1 output. And then you have 2 3.2-quarter-inch jacks in there. And every single one of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 front outputs can be selected separately. And remembers volume. And it's like, what the fuck is happening here? I have in the menu, because if you remember from my other things, you can disable like certain settings. So I have disabled the 6.35 number 1, the 6.35 number 2, the dual XLR. I left on that XLR. I disabled that XLR. I disabled that 4.4, and I enabled and kept on that 4.4. Just because going through it is so fucking many things. So let's go plug things back in. We've got Valencia being preamped with this. We have got Tungsten, double-sided, Mark 1, being powered by this, because that's everyone's question, is going to be, will it? The answer is yes, but it's not even overwhelming. It's just wild how this is a piece of consumer gear and not something for a studio, just for its switching capabilities. So let's do the remote just to get ourselves settled. I never watched that show. Is that a good wallpaper? Is that a good wallpaper? I feel like it is. Power, mute, volume up, volume down, menu, output select, input select, customizable A and B buttons. I think I have these set for gain and something else. Custom settings, so you could hold it and it'll remember everything that's going on. You could recall that. Your home button, which changes the front to be either that or that or that. And then your brightness select on off thing. Of all the units that I've had, I think this one needs a better remote. There's nothing wrong with the top remote, especially this one is nice. It's machined aluminum. You take out these three things, this whole plastic bit comes out. You can change the battery, put it back in. It comes with the tool. But mother of God, I need like 40 buttons, and it's just an amp. I need literally a button for every output. I need a button for all the inputs. I need a button for the preamp. I want a jog shuttle for the volume, because I want to be able to jog shuttle that and have it do that remotely. Where am I? Am I playing music? I'm playing Tubular Bells, but it's muted. So we got to unmute this. No, it was unmuted when I did that. So now, okay, so what am I doing? I'm wearing headphones. What am I wearing? Hey, look at that. It's a T60 closebacks. Absolutely fucking stellar, number 82 headphone. Just a little pricey. I actually talked to the rep from, I'm not going to name names. And I said to him, because I was talking to him, because he deals Fostex. I said to him, you know what? They could have fixed the T60 T60 RP Mark II if they would have called it the T80. And then people wouldn't have associated the original one with the price of the new one. And he went, oh shit, I was the one who shot that down. I told them they should probably not call it they were going to call it the T70, which wouldn't have been cool, because then it would have gone from an even number to an odd number. But still, I think if the T60 Mark II was actually just the T80 Mark I, everyone will be fine with it costing $700 fucking dollars, because that's what it sounds like. Now, so I've got that on my head. I got it on a Magia cable, which you should all thank you for supporting the channel by purchasing my collabs. There's a link tree in the description with all of my collabs. So got this plugged into Valencia, which is on its side, which is no reason you can't run it like that. It's not going to fuck it up. And that's coming out of the output of this. So now I've got to change the output. So now quick unit tour, now that I've done all that. There's power button as you hold the fucking knob down. Menu, input, and home. This also needs to have like Mass Kobo style buttons above the things you're selecting. Would be great. So input doesn't matter. We're on DAC 3, which I think is the FIO K13. I've got the FIO K13 as an input. I've got Golden Sounds Wandla stack, which I thought sounded really fucking different. And then I realized I left all the Golden Sound settings on, which is good, which means I could judge that. And then I've also got, you can't see it, but the Dishelli Labs Daisy with full Sparkos upgrade and all 8 op amps in that. So there's my thing. I could have also plugged in the Denafrips Aries if I wanted to plug in these RI cables. Made in Italy, by the way. You know Princess Pasta is the sole North American distributor of these? You should go check out princesspasta.audio and support her by buying... apparently, the shielding on these is like better than everything. She's trying to teach me about high-end cables, and I'm trying to teach her about American cheese. Not just American cheese like processed cheese, like all the cheeses in America. It's weird. Anyway, where were we? So we pick our input, doesn't fucking matter. Output. 4.4 Mark II, so now those are playing. And those, by the way, are set to high gain. And then if I hit this button again, now it's pre. So now I hear out of Valencia, and there is high-low medium gain on the pre-out, which bothers me a little bit. Mute. because a pre-out technically should be if you put 0 on a pre-out of anything, especially like a balance thing, the voltage at 0 should be a fixed number. It should be like 4 volts or 5 volts selectable sometimes. For some reason, this amp has low, medium, high. And I had tungsten in the Valencia coming out of this, and this was on low gain for the output, and I switched it to medium output gain while the knob was there, and I almost heard distortion out of tungsten through Valencia, which doesn't tell me, it tells me the fucking voltage was too high, and I panic muted everything. So I don't quite trust the preamp if you change it off of, I think I have it on medium now. Maybe I had it was on low. I think I switched it to high, and then it was bad. Just right now it's on medium, so I can get it's on medium, so I could run that with lesser headphones at a higher number. Point is, weird option. So as I listen, 37 decibels of headroom here to that, to this, to these sound beautiful. Chef's kiss. So now if we want to move those to here, I can do that by pressing the output button. Boom. XLR 4P1. It's a little bit quiet. Now these are not hard to drive headphones, so they sound very similar. I'm biased. Look, I'm always going to be biased for the fucking things I own and love and have in the house. It isn't about that's your collabs used to. It's about I'm used to that and I know what that sounds like. I feel like the problem with the A900 is it doesn't sound as good as the little cheap combos they have, or the $1,000 combo they have. But I would expect this thing to be like that same snappy, smooth cream. And what this feels like is old topping. Old topping. Like A90 discrete, which is not that old, but older. For the longest time on this desk, if I wanted a high power amplifier for headphones, for tungsten or something, I didn't turn to anything but... Can I reach that? We can reach this. Is it plugged in? No. Excellent. Come with me, baby. You got a sticker. A good one. This is the LA90. It was either the LA90 or the LA90 discrete. I hardly heard a difference between the two. And this is Topping's fucking speaker amp. It was 50 watts into 8. No, it had to be more than that. I don't remember. 50 watts into 8 ohms? And big, big happy knob. And guess what? 3 different XLR inputs. Boom, boom, boom. And you got your speaker terminal outs, you need a thing, you need a bunch of switches for fixed volume and mono blocking, etc. And I can't help but think about this when I'm looking at this. This was $800. This is now more money, but this has a screen and a bunch of outputs for headphones in it. But I'm wondering what the power output is comparatively. And I'm wondering how much of this ended up in this. Because I liked this. This was neutral. Maybe a little bit warmer than the A90D. And it had everything I needed to test different DACs. I had 3 different mono ins, 3 different stereo ins. You could adapt it to RCAs. It was a good unit. I haven't hooked it up in a hot minute. It's been the hottest of minutes. And I wonder if this is just a better packaged version of this, where the tech in it, while measuring so fucking good. This thing measured fucking phenomenally. It's very heavy, by the way. Thank God my elbow is on the arm of the chair. But let's put you... I want you to join the conversation. So I'll link this thing, by the way. Oh, God, don't hit my screen. This is the Fosse... What are you? The I... It doesn't have the model number. Oh, AH01. AH01. And you could adjust the light and colors and make it do different things. Twist this, and then all of a sudden it's purple or red. There you go. Let's put that back down. Actually, now it's just going through different colors. I don't want that. No. Oh, Jesus Christ. We broke it. Okay. That thing's like $50. I think the main use case for this is for psychopaths, which there are many here in the audiophile community. So that means it's going to sell wonderfully. You can literally leave all of your headphones plugged into this and then just switch which one you want to use right now. You can plug in 3 different sources, 3 different balance sources. You could have your R2R DAC. You could have that. You could have I guess you could technically have a turntable if you pointed 3. So 3 inputs. You get your pre-out, which is fine. It clickety clicks. It does all the correct things to keep the volumes and channels matched. It does a good job of reamplifying the signal of the DAC so that the amplifier isn't colored. I think isn't colored is the main point of this, but there's a difference between isn't colored and transparent. Valencia there is transparent where it doesn't sound like there's anything and it doesn't change the sound. This is technically measures better than that transparent wise, yet I don't feel like I get everything that's different about the 3 DACs like I would in something else, where if we were going straight into another amplifier. I feel like everything I'm getting fed into this is being sort of toppingized. It's being toppinged down to like an average common denominator where they can handle through digital switching low, medium, and 22 fucking watts into 16 ohms. And I worry that I don't enjoy music on it as much as I would straight out of the front of the K13. Or, you know what? Out of the A900 Discrete, which I pretty much want to hook up again or bring up to my office or something with it. So let's do the thing. Let's do the 4.4. Let's whip out the... Oh, God. My tungsten's loose. What a slut. My tungsten's scratched. I've never actually seen a scratch on a tungsten before. Is something stuck to it? No. Haha! It's something stuck to the tungsten. Disgusting. Let's put this back on. So now, this is now set. Doesn't matter. We're on input 3. Doesn't matter. We're on high gain. 36 dB down. We hit play. Crank that knob. Now, one of the things I had to do is the Gishelli Labs DAC doesn't output full XLR voltage because it's only using a little transformer and it has multiple outputs. So I've had to bring the Ferrum stack and the K13 down to its level so that I switch to the 3 of them. I don't hear a volume change. That means going to 88 out of 100 on the FIO and 65 out of 100 on the Ferrum. It's weird how the different shapes of the volume curves. So technically, if I'm playing tungsten and I'm at, I feel like that's real quiet. Hold on. Stone Temple Pilots. So like, she running. Let's just she running tungsten at -5. We're probably down 6 or 7 dB from the source gain. So if I were to go to input, which one's 3? Hold on. You are 3? Hold on. Yeah. Oh God. If I jack that to 100, now we're at -13. So there's your headroom for tungsten. -10. That's high gain, 4.4 out of 100 on this. This is coming straight through. You have, on the double-sided version 1, you have about 10 dB where I would be saying this is about as loud. 8 out of it is about where I'd be happy with this. If I were to do this to the Golden Sound deck, if I put this back to 88, this is why I like digital volumes. I could read it and put it back there. So now let's go with a different input. Now we're input 1, which should be that. And I hit play. Yeah, it could be way less. I'm saying 14, maybe 13 dBs of headroom for tungsten. Headroom doesn't mean I want to listen to it, though. All the power in the world doesn't mean I want to listen to Tungsten on it. There's an entire Tungsten chat. I just released the Tungsten video that I made 9 months ago. And the entire video didn't talk about the headphone. It talked about the community that is built around the headphone, that all we try to do, as I'm part of that community, is try to make this sound the best it can. And that isn't just power. It's about how the amp's doing it, the flavors behind it, if you're passing through tubes. And my problem with the A900 is that no matter if I have settings on this, or if I'm running it through a tube and then into this isn't, it's not transferring the fun from the things I want into it. That's why I made Leo make that. All right. Again, don't buy it because of this video. Downvote the video if you feel like it, or watch someone else's. Someone else has compared these two. And from a pure, I like the sound of this amp perspective, I don't like the sound of this amp. And that amp has no sound. So they're not really fighting. I like the sound of the K13's amp, the little thing. I'm okay with the LA90 discreet. Oh, it's been a hot minute since I've hooked it up and done a real comparison with something. But I feel like this is just a little too clinical in all the ways it's trying to do things. No matter what that THD distortion plus noise 500 zeros before the 3% new record is. I don't like, listen, why this thing was on I've had this thing for like 4 months, and it was on my desk. You remember it being on my desk, right? 4 months ago. You've been watching for that long. And for some reason, every time I plug something into it and I'm like, oh, gotta do this, I don't like to listen to it. All the power in the goddamn world, some amazing features with the switchability of everything. It's old topping, and I'm so done with old topping. Used to be okay with it. It used to be an affordable thing. And now it's like there's so much more juicy stuff you can get your hands on. I feel like someone watching this absolutely needs a 3-input amp with a preamp and triggers, and wants to leave all their headphones plugged in, and they need a remote. Perfect. Sold. You want to use it as a preamp? It's quite an expensive preamp, but it'll make the clicky, clicky, clicky noises. And you can read the display from far away. So that's basically the end of the sound portion of this amp. It's very powerful, but it's sleepy. If I plug the Shure 1540s into this, I might literally die. It's just, I want... And the thing is, I want it to be a warm Class A amp. I don't want that. I want it to be fucking Valencia with a million ins and outs. That would be perfection. It just isn't. If we could cut this fucking thing open and remove the amplification section and just have everything route in and out and then plug it in and out, it would be great. It'd be fucking great. This is a bargain if you're looking for this sort of connectivity. And the thing is, who the fuck is looking for this sort of connectivity except for mad people? I'm standing during a review. I have to stand. Because there's so much to see. Those are your triggers, by the way. It's a wild leap into like, you know what? We made this DAC, and the DAC has to be this big. We should probably make the amp that matches it. Wow, we got a lot of space. This is taking over. The A90D, I never got it, but there was an expansion box that went underneath it. You could hook up with a special wire that gave you like 3 inputs for it. And I think what Topping did was this, is they just integrated the 3 inputs, which I guess it would have been 4 inputs. But they integrated that like extra box into a whole one chassis. It's like, there's more money, but here it all is. Let me plug something else in. You know what? Give me you, baby. You come with me. I wasn't sure if I was going to whip these out during the review, but you know, if I'm sucking my own dick and complaining, I'm going to suck my dick real hard. So let's take you. Let's unplug you. Let's remember that we need to go into the menu, and we need to go into output settings, and we need to go down to gain and make high not high. We could also do that, by the way. Let me see if I go home. I believe either A or B. Yeah, A is high, medium, low. Convenient that I was able to customize that. Again, super useful features. absolutely quality of life fucking crazy good. But what does B do? Oh, B is brightness. That's weird. I have brightness here. Why would I make B and... Nah, that's stupid. Zeus did a stupid. We're going to die from Stone Temple Pilots. We're going to next and die from something else. Okay, we almost died. It's fine. It's epic score. Emotional breach. Wow, I would have had an emotional breach in my eardrums. Holy shit, that is not that loud. Hold on, I want you guys to hear what's actually happening. Oof. See, now, here's another thing. Eris kind of doesn't give a fuck. When you plug Eris into a unit, it's just like, whatever. You powered me good? Good. And it will change sound. I like it most on like the Hibby portables that are like expensive. But it doesn't usually care. I don't have a Serene because I've lost all my Serenes. And I'm not joking, and that is not a funny thing to say, but I only have 3 and I only know where 1 is. But if your headphones aren't picky about amps, you'll be fine. It'll be fine if your headphones are not picky about amps. Fucking picky about amps. Super fucking picky. All right, this isn't just Zeus being fucking like, ooh, Zeus is just going to hate on it. The Tungsten gives more of a shit than almost anything. And this was probably not designed with that particular headphone in mind. But it works in a general sense for like most headphones. Like the Fostex don't really care if you have like a nice warm signal, or you're pretty like whatever. I'm chill. By the way, she's usually there, but I shoved her there because why not? So I mean, if your headphones give a shit about an amplifier having a sound signature, this will probably not meet that unless the sound signature is neutral. Which ironically is when I was doing the initial testing of this, I really liked like the Quest style dongle because it was so linear. So listening to... Oh, it's still playing. I gotta do that. We have... By the way, if you want to compare headphones, this is on low gain. We have 24 decibels of headroom on low gain on Eris, whereas that has, like, on this input, 14 decibels. On high gain. Like, that's an insane swing between the two headphones. It's nutty. That certainly sounds like it's got power behind it. I mean, fuck. This is like pushing a baby carriage with a fucking City Line bus. Just put the baby carriage there and then drive the big bus up against it and just slowly push it forward. I think it'll work. Yeah, I don't want to shit all over this amplifier. I wish it sounded like I wanted it to be a DX9 just with all these things in it. But apparently that's got something else going on that I'm not grasping at the moment. So, do you want... Look how much space there is on top for anime waifu stickers, too. And they could have wrote like the word topping on it. Like, I get they're going for like, this is their high-end masterpiece. It doesn't sound like a masterpiece. It sounds like it measures... It sounds like... You want to know what it sounds like? Here, ready? I'm going to show you what it sounds like. Here, hold on, show it. Can I click this? It sounds like they were going for a world record in THD, distortion plus noise. That's what it sounds like. And I'm mildly pissed that they did that. If it didn't break the record, I don't think... Oh, I fucking... Where'd that picture go? That picture went away. I've heard better amplifiers. I've heard better... Nothing more... Technically at 22 watts, if that's true, at 16 ohms, I've not heard more technically powerful amplifiers. Even... Well, technically... What's 17... Because that's at 17 at 32, and that's at 16. That might actually be more powerful still. We'll have to do the math. I don't know. Someone do the math on it, please. What's the oh, yeah. Oh, Valencia kicks its ass. That's 17 at 32. This is only 14 at 32. Piece of trash. Get in the trash bin where you belong. I'm the trash man. Yeah, I feel like it's... And I know someone's going to complain, well, Zeus, you should have reviewed it with its own DAC. What the fuck does that matter? I've got a $3,500 DAC and a $300 DAC and a DAC you can't even fucking buy. The DayZ with all the swapped op amps. And I still don't find it that engaging. It's not an engaging sound. All right. I love how I spit on the top of these things during these reviews and wipe it off. And I didn't really have to. You didn't notice that I did that, but I do it anyway. This is what this is the bread and butter of this fucking amplifier. It's a sheet of specs. Just a massive sheet of specs. Balance, single-ended line in and out. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, single-ended. So the actual, I guess I should mention that. The 6.35s only outputs 6 watts at 16 ohms. Pfft, garbage. And 3 watts at 32 ohms. That is quite a powerful... This might be the most powerful... No, 3 watts at 32 ohms can't be the most powerful single-ended headphone amplifier. It's 3 versus 14. It's not. I was going to go grab the goddamn 880, 600 ohms off the wall, but it's still only 165 milliwatts and 750 if you made it balanced. So yeah, I'm happy what Topping is attempting to do with the form factor. I like the short box. I like the fact that it's wide. It's kind of bespoke. It'll fit roughly on like real audio gear things. It feels too old Topping. I need the DX9 discrete. God damn it. Because I will not sell my Topping DX9 unless the DX9 discrete beats it sound quality wise. It's the same reason I sold the IFI Neo IDSD Mark II and kept the IFI Neo IDSD Mark I with the fucked up screen and no options. Because the one sounded better. The actual amplification circuitry sounded better. I'm going to put that back down to 65. Now that I've lowered that, I can go 20. Gotta love my headphones. All right. Thank you to A-Post for sending out the stack. Jeebus. It's heavy too, by the way. This is not a lightweight unit. Is there anything on the bottom? I don't think I've actually ever checked. Let's see if I can destroy the desk now. Got some nice feet. You got a model number. It says made in China. And that's it. God, it landed on the fucking hinge of the tungsten. It just lands on it, cracks the fucking yoke. I hope not. Anyway, wallpaper horde, Patreon and Subscribestar. If you want to yell at me and you want me to actually listen, join my patronage chat. For a little bit more a month, you get to ask me questions directly and get into a lifetime swap meet channel. But if you want to stay as a low-tier patron, you get to see reviews early, participate in yard sales, and get to lossless sound demos, which I'm working on. They just take forever. One day, I'm going to do all the sound demos. And if you don't know, sound demos are available privately. I no longer put them up on like YouTube or anything. So I get to put giant titty out anime girls as backgrounds. And that serves 2 purposes. Number 1, titties. Number 2, you can't re-upload it to a public video site because there's titties. And I get to use whatever music I like to do my sound demos. And sometimes I'll just not even pick a playlist. I'll just start shuffling and be like, I'll talk about the music. The sound demos, I think, are way better now than they used to be. Super unrestricted. And that's kind of like chill. I'd love to have my entire channel be unrestricted so I could say the absolutely most unhinged shit ever. But here we are on YouTube, where we are good Christian boys and girls. Right? Is Christian too hard? Christian's too hard. No, something else. Mormon. No, that's not a thing. Oh, my friend told me something interesting, and you could tell me if you are a Mormon. Apparently, after you've died, like human beings on Earth, Mormons can still come and cleanse your soul. That's fucking freaking me out. I'm just like, stop. I'm dead. Leave me alone. Anyway, all that stuff, all that jazz, links to this, wallpaper in the wallpaper horde. I'll see you all in the next one. Unless someone purifies my soul, and then fuck it. I know what I'm doing with this thing. When I bring it to shows, when I go to do like a showing off Eris, it would have to be Eris because Serene would give a shit. But I could plug in 4 different headphones to this and it'll run 4 at the same time. I probably couldn't use the 6.35 because it'd be less power and I wouldn't be able to balance it. But It'll run at least 4 headphones simultaneously.